Yeah, we're good. We're live.
We're perfect. Okay, awesome.
So the match should be starting in just a few minutes, right?
Yeah, let's see. It was running a few minutes late yesterday. Hopefully, we'll be more on time today, but regardless, should be a few minutes. Perfect. Okay.
What's up, guys? It's been a while since I've been on stream. I feel like the juices are flowing again.
Yeah, I'm relatively new to this, so you might have to carry some of the load, Brandon. But I'm excited.
Yeah. Like last time I was commentating, it was on Hans's SCC match, I think, and literally everything went wrong. No, sorry, it was one of his it was his match against Anish, and like literally everything went wrong in the broadcast. Either like chess.com was crashing, the audio was crashing. There was a problem like every 5 minutes, basically. So thankfully, it's running a lot smoother this time. But
Nice.
I know, finally English commentary. Yeah, no. Also, the annoying part, I was trying to watch the match yesterday, and like exactly like on Lichess, it was barely working. Like you have to watch the Russian commentary. That's the only way to actually like get the live board.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, it was a bit of a mess. I think there were some delays with like PGN transmission and stuff, but hopefully it'll all
Yeah,
be smoother today.
for sure. So going into today, Hans is down what, down 2 in the match, I
Yeah,
believe.
down 2. So I guess he's got like 5.5, 3.5 to tie.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of money on the line, but much more importantly, there's a lie detector question on the line. So I think that's what we're all kind of here for. Is this? I mean, it'll be great content. Obviously, we're rooting for Hans on his stream, but it'll be great content either way. To be honest.
Yeah. Do you any predictions of what you're feeling for today?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, the thing with Hans, like obviously I know him in his chess super well, and he's very he goes with the flow. He's very inconsistent. So when he's in his flow, he's basically unstoppable. But another thing is like playing against somebody as strong as Dubov, it's not easy to get into the flow. So I think it kind of depends on Hans and his mindset and everything and his mood going into today. And I think we'll see. I think it'll be clear from their first few games what their form is looking like, but it'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
Introduce yourselves, please. Chat wants to know who we are, so take it
I
away.
think, yeah, maybe some of you already know Brandon, but I'm Sina. I'm a national master, but big big chess fan of Hans. So excited to be doing this.
Yeah, I'm Brandon. I'm a retired chess player. Probably nobody actually knows me. Friend of Hans, chess fan, retired chess player, now full time commentator apparently. So excited for this.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm wondering also because I feel like this format is kind of interesting with like the halftime day split. I kind of wonder if
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be like any, I don't know, like halftime adjustments, like because I don't know, Dubov played a lot of like Sicilians yesterday. I wonder if he'll try to be
Yeah,
like more solid now that he like has a lead. I feel like that'll be pretty interesting to see.
yeah, for sure. In my experience, I think it's important to just do what works, right? Like, I think it's very easy to get nervous. I've had my fair share of experience choking from plus match scores, tournament situations. And when you get in your head and you start thinking like, oh, I only need a draw, or I only need this result, and you start playing this way, it really gets in your head and you can't play at all. So I think for Dubov, he should really try to just play how he plays. If he wants to play ambitious, he should play ambitious, true to his style, because otherwise you kind of get in your head and things can go very wrong. But yeah, I agree. It'll definitely be interesting to see if he changes up his openings at all.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I think, yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of fits Hans's style well. I feel like he usually plays fighting chess regardless, but it will also be interesting to see from his end.
A lot of you guys are spamming about me in the chat. Okay, guys, this is Hans' stream. So if you want to talk to me, go to my stream. I will be returning to streaming. Little announcement. After 3 years going away, so I'll be happy to do that all on my stream. But today is about Hans. So go follow my Twitch if you want to talk to me.
A lot of 1A4 chatter in the chat right
I
now.
know. A lot of VSU fans. Do you have an idea what? Okay, this is a very good question though. Somebody asked if you have an idea of what Hans would ask Dubov if he wins. What do you think Hans will ask him if he wins? I'm actually very curious.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I don't know. Like, yeah, obviously the other way around, like it's probably more obvious what Dubov might ask Hans, but um like I don't even know. I feel like there's some I don't know. I feel like Hans probably has some question like particularly in mind, but I feel like
Yeah. So, okay. Well, I think just as a wild guess, I think Hans will ask something to the extent of like, I don't. You have to ask yes or no questions though. That how it works? I think
right.
like for them to be accurate, you need to kind of ask yes or no questions. But something about Dubov's online cheating, I think he will ask because like he has admitted kind of jokingly in a like Russian interview that like he's turned it on before when he's 100% confident his opponent was doing something. And I think
Oh,
Hans will probably try to like get Dubov like to admit something and then go and say that like, hey, the people who accuse me are not so innocent themselves, which is true, which he is right about. Um, so I think that'll be interesting. But either way, like it's gonna be something that will be groundbreaking. Like I think probably like when they set the terms of this match, I think Hans probably had something very good in mind. So I think he's he's probably looking forward to the victory. So he's gonna give his all for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
have we cheated in a prize event? Something like that. Something like that, I think.
Yeah. What one question is interesting. I feel like I've never seen a lie detector that's just like one question and then like, okay, we're gonna cut it off. So
Yeah, it would be funny to ask something totally random also, like just unrelated to chess. I guess we'll see.
cool. Okay, let's see.
Just,
9:04. Yeah, probably should be starting soon. I guess they're probably just similar timing to yesterday, maybe.
do you know what the layout is of their match? Like when I was watching the match yesterday, it looked like they were playing in somebody's house. Do you know any information about it?
Wait, yeah, it didn't look like a super like I don't know normal chess venue you'd see. I think it's at like a chess club in Russia, right? I could
Oh,
be
I
wrong
see.
on that. Maybe if anyone in the chat knows, they can tell us. But I don't know. I thought it was at like maybe some historic like Russian chess club or something, but honestly, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, possibly, but to me, honestly, looked like they're playing in some. Okay, anyway, it's a fun match. So I know it's not super serious, but I don't know. But I'm curious. Like it was interesting watching their body language during the match as well because Hans looked super relaxed. Even when he was losing games, he was sort of laughing and just having fun. And I feel like Dubov looked super serious. So I don't know if it's just part of their like attitude of what helps them play better, or it's like because I'm curious. I mean, hopefully we'll have Hans on after to ask him about it. But
Right.
like for me at least, I would have trouble feeling like it's a serious match. You know, like if you're playing the World Blitz Championship, you know you're playing for like a ton of money on the line. It's a world championship. But in a match like this, obviously there's a lot on the line still, but in some way it also probably doesn't feel too serious either. So it must be interesting to like the mindset perspective on how you can fully get in the zone in a sort of casual match like this.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's also one thing that's interesting, like over the board versus online is like online, I feel like people are less intentional about like tilting or like body language and stuff. Whereas over the board, you're
Right.
like super aware that your opponent's right there. And so maybe it's like something you're thinking about more.
For sure. Also facing people like Hikaru, you kind of have to get used to a bunch of weird body language tells. Some are genuine, some aren't. So it's definitely another layer to over the board chess. I mean, true. But I guess both players' reputation on the line, right? Like, also lie detectors are not 100% accurate, obviously. So, like, I'm sure they're nervous about like a false positive with any question from either side. So that also adds to the drama, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Hans is very unpredictable. Like, he's some days he's unbelievably good, and sometimes he tilts quite a bit. So he definitely needs to get his head straight.
Did you follow any of the Aeroflot tournament before this at all?
Yeah, I was following. It seemed like Hans overall played played very well. Obviously, open tournaments against like young 2400s from Russia are basically impossible to farm. Like, I don't know anybody can do it, but considering he didn't lose rating in an open like this, that means he must have played pretty well. So
Yeah, I feel like. I mean, I guess Hans has played quite a bit of opens, like maybe like 1 or 2 years ago, more than probably most like top GMs. But
right,
I feel like it's always just like a little dicey when you're playing like people like 200, 300 points lower than you who are just like super talented.
yeah, no, for sure. Like, I saw one of his games. He drew a 24 something, and the kid played like basically perfect chess, and then they agreed to a draw. So
Yeah.
that's the state of affairs. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think we all know lie detectors are not accurate in any way, but we're here for the content, guys. It's not about whether it's actually accurate. We're here for the drama and the memes.
Okay, looks like this it like kind of started the stream, but still waiting to get the player, so probably will be up pretty soon.
All right, awesome.
Who do you think is going to be the winner? Yeah, good question. I still have faith in Hans. I feel like he's got a bit of a clutch gene. We'll see what happens.
That is true. Even from my own personal experience playing him, like early in the match, a lot of times he's a bit rusty. And then, like I said, once he gets his flow going, he turns into a total beast. So it'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're very, very close in level. I mean, they're both among the best players in the world, clearly. So obviously, it's an exciting match, regardless.
Right.
No, the games haven't started yet, guys. We're just waiting for it on the broadcast. But
Yeah, should be starting soon. What's the score? So yeah, just to catch everyone up again, it's Dubov's up 2 points. So Hans has got to make up 2 points in the back half of these 9 games. So we'll see if he can do it.
starting with exactly. No, okay, yeah, Hans does have to play for Rook A3. I think that would be groundbreaking.
Okay.
How is this arranged? So nobody actually, I don't think we know the details, but yeah, pretty much like obviously Dubov forfeited him in the World Blitz Championship, and then Hans, offered to play him in a match and under his terms, and then we arrive here. So I don't know what the in between negotiations were, but so now we got here. Why do you think this format favors Daniil? Maybe you're right. I'm just trying to understand.
But I think it is cool that like it is kind of a settle it on the chessboard though, and I feel like that's kind of what Hans has been hoping to do with a lot of people. So it's kind of cool
Definitely.
it actually happened.
You have to let the chess speak for itself. I mean, like obviously, in like a 1% way to me of what it's been to Hans. I mean, I've had people make tons of coded accusations against me, and like I understand. Like all I want to do is tell them, like, look, come over the board, let's play chess, and we'll see. You know what I mean? It's like that's the only real settler. So. I apologize in advance, guys. I'm still getting over a cold, so my voice might be a little muffled, but I'll be trying my best.
Favors Daniil because he's top 10 in blitz. Yeah, they're both, I guess, probably top 10 in like strength and blitz, probably.
How does it make me feel seeing Daniil commentate this match? I'm not sure what that question means, but okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't know he could speak Russian so well.
Yeah, I think he's basically native. So you appreciate me doing this in English? Well, lucky for you guys, I'm not able to commentate in any other language, so English is what you're getting.
Any tournament? Are you playing any tournaments coming up, Brandon?
Yeah. So my next tournament will probably be Grenke, but we'll see.
Nice. That's in like a couple months?
It's in middle of April, I think. So
Okay, nice.
next month. Are we title players? No. I think we both just learned how the pieces moved yesterday. So. Why am I inactive in chess.com? I wish I knew.
Freestyle or regular? The Grenke is it like both the regular and there's like the freestyle thing in, or I guess it's in Paris, right?
No. So the tournament is the strangest format I've ever seen. So basically, there's an open and there's a freestyle, both classical, that are like coinciding at the same time, the same like time control, and you can choose whether to play the freestyle or the classical. But then the freestyle just has like much bigger prizes, so it's very strange.
Okay. And so you're playing classical?
Probably, but I mean the freestyle will have like Magnus and Kuro and all of them. So maybe I'll give it a shot, but we'll see how I'm feeling. But I'll definitely play one of them because I mean both have very good prizes and should be super strong. So
Yeah.
no. So I think so. What we're gonna do, guys, is there's no way to actually get the live board, so we have to watch their stream on mute, and then just we can get the live board, and we'll give our own commentary.
Yeah, it'll be good to see the players, that I feel like adds a lot of excitement to it.
Apart from like us commentating for Hans, I think we all want Hans to win just because we want to see what question he asks. Like, okay, Dubov will be boring, right? Okay, it'll still be good, but it'll just be like, what is the extent of your cheating or whatever. But I think like there's a lot more spice when Hans asks a question.
Yeah, I also kind of wonder what the setup is going to be like. Is it just going to be like right after the match they like pull out a polygraph?
Right.
Just
like okay, good match. No, here, sit right here. Yeah, that's a good question.
Any financial prize for this? So I heard Hans say in an interview it was like $2,000 per point or something like that.
Say that again. How much per point?
I think it was 2,000 per point that you win by, I think.
Wow.
So I guess every game will kind of matter regardless of how the match goes.
So who do you think? Wait, who is actually putting up the money for 2,000 per point?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Is it Levitov or I actually don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no. Probably he'll ask Hans if he ever chewed over the board. I agree. That seems like the most likely question. They have a Russian bank sponsoring it. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, chat's really going at it right now. I know we're all bored waiting for the match.
Tina, how's it going?
Is that Hans on the phone with you?
Dr. Brandon.
Yes, I'm in traffic. Like hitting no movement for like 10 minutes. Should start soon. But I'm sure you and Brandon are going to do a great job commentating. I need
Hans, can you hear me?
Chess needs. Yes, Brandon, how's it going?
It's going. You should be watching the commentary in the car to prepare for your match. I don't know why you're not doing that.
Yes. Yeah, are you guys like watching with subtitles? Are there auto-generated subtitles, or you guys brushing up on your Russian? Or
no, we're just muting them and giving our much better commentary ourselves.
Yes. Well, it's great. It's great to see Danya doing commentary. Our favorite,
of course.
There were some nice A4 Rook A3 novelties that people were suggesting in the chat. So.
Oh really? Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see if anything is implemented today. Brandon and I have obviously Brandon's such a serious chess player. Anyways, okay, yeah, I think I'm like 1 minute away. So, anyways, enjoy the commentary, guys, and I'll give you guys a call after.
Yeah, best of luck, Hans.
Good luck, Hans. We'll see you after.
Bye.
Okay, you guys heard it from Hans himself.
The man, the myth, the legend appears.
So I guess a little bit of traffic, it sounds like, but probably starting soon.
I know. Good thing it's not like the World Blitz. He would have forfeited 3 games by now. So lucky for him, it's a friendly match. But.
Let's see. Is Netflix dropping? I don't think they've announced the actual date, but I've heard some general timelines. Probably in the next like few months is what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard the same, but that'll be fun for sure. A new show to binge.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to watch it. I think it'll be super interesting to just like see like what's said and like who all is even in it and all that.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know anything about it. I just heard it's exciting and there's going to be a lot of drama from all ends. So looking forward to it. Trying to keep up with chat here. It's too much degeneracy right now.
Yeah,
I can't even read it. It's too fast for me.
The real chess is the friends we make along the way.
Exactly. Daniil wearing
Yeah, how can you tell?
I was just gonna ask the same question. But I think we're getting good entertainment just watching Daniil and Shimonov speaking in Russian without hearing them. I think if that alone is enough entertainment for us. Like I'm enjoying it fully.
Yeah. He's got a nice book collection. Do you have a nice chess book collection, Brandon?
I do somewhere, but I have not read a chess book in way too long. Maybe I should brush up.
Nice.
Yeah, we have exactly. There are commentators commenting on commentators. That's exactly what I'm here for. Because Daniil and Shimonov, my 2 absolute favorite GMs who would never ever have anything bad to say about me, ever. So I love watching them commentate. No. I do not speak Russian, so that's why you're getting English commentary. What are my favorite time controls? Okay, well, I always seem to do best in rapid, so I'll say rapid. So we'll go with that. Exactly. I only speak pure American.
Yeah, I like rapid. I've barely played it in like actual OTB tournaments, but it's always like a nice mix of maybe a little serious, but there's some like Dubov quote about that I feel like that I saw actually about like the difference.
Yeah, that he hates rapid or something.
Yeah, he doesn't like
Yeah,
it. I kind of like it. Tips to break 2,000. Any advice for the viewers out there, Brandon?
Well, I'm still 1800, so I don't know how I'm supposed to give advice. Maybe you should chime in on that.
I'd say it's all about putting the work in. Putting the work in, having fun, playing a lot. Any opening predictions? That's a good question. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier, but I'm pretty interested to see if it'll switch up quite a bit from yesterday or not.
Not fast enough to not care, but not slow enough to think, so I guess I'll drink. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's most chess players' attitude. So, okay, we see Hans finally. We see him, he made it. Yeah, I don't know if we have any mods in the chat or anybody can set up a poll, but somebody should set up a poll on what you guys think Hans will ask if he wins, because I'm very curious what you guys think. Like maybe like chess question about cheating, chess question unrelated to cheating, or like something totally random. Which are the three?
Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty sure we're the only English commentators on this match right now. So if you want to watch this match in English, this is the place to be.
Should have been 5 questions. Yeah. I think the one question kind of makes it more interesting, actually. But
yeah, that is true.
I see someone in the YouTube chat saying that we're only looking at the Twitch chat, but don't worry, we're looking at all the chats here. So
That's why it's going so fast. I understand. Say hi to Serbia. Hello to all my Serbian fans. Serbia is a great country. I know there's no commentary. Well, okay. Did Hans ask you to commentate yesterday?
yeah, I mean, so my understanding was that Kramnik was planning to do some English live stream of it yesterday, and then
Really?
he had some like bad network issues.
Oh, I see. That doesn't surprise me. But
And then
I guess all of his tweets broke his own internet. He couldn't handle it. So
yeah.
yeah, no, Hans didn't even ask me to commentate yesterday. So,
Oh yeah.
but I was enjoying watching.
Yeah, I actually watched some of it with the Russian commentary on, like not speaking Russian at all, but it kind of added some little excitement to the chaos of it.
Yeah, it seems people in chat are mostly talking about A4, so not focusing on the match. Don't want to steal the spotlight here. Again, guys, if you have questions about A4 or me, you should follow my Twitch where I will be streaming again. I will be returning to streaming after a 3-year break. So please follow me on Twitch if you have questions about me. This is for Hans' match.
What happens if the score is tied? Yeah, that's a good question. Do you know?
I
if
actually don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure either.
Okay, probably they'll do some kind of tie. Maybe Armageddon, that would be. Okay, that would add to the content if we had like an Armageddon and then pieces fly around all over the board.
Okay, so it looks like maybe Hans is
So now
there.
Dubov's not there yet. Okay.
No.
Also in traffic, maybe.
Yeah, it is a really interesting venue, though. It just does look like like someone's house or something.
Yeah, that's literally what I thought. Like,
Nice plant. I don't know what kind of plant that is, but very aesthetic.
well, you know, if Hans doesn't win this match, we all know the reason. It's because he didn't go A4. If he would try it even in a single game, the psychological effect he would have for the whole match, it would just be unstoppable. So if he loses, we all know what to say to him. Like, if he does lose and he comes on the stream, I need you all to spam him. You should have played A4. That's the reason.
Lemon tree. Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
Persimmon? No. Interesting.
What do you think Dubov's strengths and weaknesses are? It's a good question. I think so. Dubov's strengths is he just feels like the flow of the position extremely well. Like it's not about he doesn't play necessarily like aggressive or positional. He kind of does both, but he makes sort of simple, intuitive decisions extremely well. Like he'll look at a position and feel where the pieces go, and he'll just make the move without overthinking. And in blitz, it's extremely powerful. But I think his weakness is like a lot of the times he'll go for the very fun, creative move when he should just play something more straightforward and just like I remember in this one of those games yesterday, in this English against Hans. I don't know if you guys saw, but he went for this knight g5, bishop takes h7, all this craziness, and he was completely lost like 3 moves later. And like he was just better positionally. He had no reason to go for all this. So a lot of times he goes for this sort of fun, creative, inventive idea. But anyway, we're off. We're off. So the game starts.
Oops.
We get d4. Okay. Bishop g5. So yeah, Dubov sort of pioneered this line a few years ago. It's kind of gone out of style. I mean, dc4 is considered to be the reason people don't really try this anymore, but it's very, very aggressive, leads to very fun positions. Okay, yeah. So Hans avoids preparation, just plays simple bishop e7. Also makes a lot of sense in a blitz game.
CD, okay.
So cd5. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess some kind of like Carlsbad structure. Pretty normal stuff.
Yeah. So we transpose to normal QGD exchange. Not the most exciting position, but it can get interesting. So we'll see how it plays out. He goes for h6. Yeah. So I've had this position thousands of times with both colors. This is one of my main openings. I've had this exact position before, I think, in Blitz and Rapid quite a bit. Bishop e5, yeah. All pretty normal so far. So what is actually the score right now? Is it 5.5, 3.5?
Right, 5.5, 3.5.
Okay.
Interesting. Dubov repeating with white early.
So you're really just gonna no, but I think he should be playing. I mean, I know he's up 2 in the match, but with white in the first game of the day, yeah, okay. So he castles short. Although to be honest, I'm not super impressed with Dubov's opening play. I think Hans got exactly what he wants. Yeah, rook e8 is normal, and now he's gonna get the darts for bishop without anything too bad happening to this position, right? I think Dubov's hoping to get some knight e5, f4, and some attack maybe at some point, but I don't fully believe in it. So I do like Hans' position so far.
Yeah, he does go 95, maybe f4 coming.
Right. But in general, like if White's going to give the bishop in this kind of structure, you usually get something more immediate, like you got f4, g4, or something to compensate for it. But yeah, exactly. Here, Hans already strikes with c5, and I think Black has no problems at all here. Like there's no attack coming, 2 bishops, the board's opening up. Where's the clock displayed? That is unfortunate that there's no clock displayed. We don't really have an option. So this is the best. This is what we're working with, guys. But I think we'll see the clock when they zoom in on the players again. So
yeah.
No, we don't need eval bars, right? We're serious commentators, serious chess players. We can think we can use our brains here. Yeah, so we got bishop e5, rook d1.
Bishop d6. Okay, interesting.
So yeah, I still really like Black's position here. I mean, I don't like. Okay, yeah, yes, Black has an isolated pawn, but with 2 bishops, I think. I think only Black can be better here. He'll just bring the rooks to the center. He'll kick the bishop on b5. Yeah, I know. I think like there should be a guy, like a polygraph guy, standing there over them, watching them play, like just to intimidate them while they're playing. I think that's a great idea. It's 3+2, guys. It's normal blitz. Yeah, that's 3+2. So bishop b8.
B8, okay. Maybe hinting at queen d6. Queen
Right.
c7.
Sending up a battery, and then White will probably have to make some kind of uncomfortable move to parry the mate threat. either f4, which you don't really want to do, or drop your knight back to f3. So definitely looking good for Hans. So yeah, bishop a4, a6, pretty normal stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree with that though. I don't think you need the evaluation part. I mean, a lot of the times I'm also confused, and like that's part of the fun too, is not exactly knowing to kind of feel what the players feel. So I think you don't even have to fully understand what's happening, but I think it's like staring at the engine doesn't really add any excitement either. But okay, I do like what Dubov has done here. He did create some kind of counterplay. He took on e6, so he changed his structure. Is immediately striking on Black's sort of hanging pawns in the center. And okay, Hans plays d4, but I don't know. I mean, I guess the question now for White is what you're doing about your knight, because there's nowhere clear you want to go.
I guess you can't ignore it.
He goes knight b1. Ah, interesting. So he's trying to reroute the knight. And then knight d7. Yeah, it's kind of double-edged this position, but I do like what Dubov has done. He turned a position that was kind of boring, not really much happening, into something where all three results are possible. So I definitely like what he's done here.
Almost.
So he goes 92, but yeah, guys, we can see the clocks now. So Hans is up quite a bit of time. So that is a good sign.
Yeah, and a lot of the early games yesterday, Hans was kind of low on the clock, so maybe trying to play a bit faster today.
For sure. So yeah, so he has a pass pawn on d3. I think for Hans, it's all about the dynamic play here, right? If you can get a quick rook f8, bishop a7, kind of line up all his pieces on the king side. Yeah, so he starts with bishop a7, very logical. And I don't know, I'm liking this for Hans. I think like strategically maybe his position's a little loose with his pawns kind of all scattered, but I think his pieces are quite active here, and especially with Dubov being low on time, I would hate to have White here with like already down to 20 seconds. So I like the sort of energy Hans is playing with today, right? Yesterday kind of felt like he lost his confidence a little bit, especially toward the end of the day. Maybe he was still like kind of exhausted from the classical event he just played, but he definitely feels like sharper today. This is kind of the Hans we all know. So I do like what he's doing here. Yeah, Dubov slow because he just woke up, exactly.
Yeah, down. Okay, over a minute down, only 10 seconds. It'll be interesting to see.
So rook c1. So yeah, what Dubov is trying. So Black can't take on e4 right now, but then there's going to be some counterplay against Black's king with the e6 pawn and the king always being weak. So b5, very logical. He's kind of just flow playing, improving his position. Down to 2 seconds already. So yeah, he sacks the exchange back. I think he needed to, because Black's very simply rook c to f7, just piling it down to the f file, and the attack would just be killer. So he sacks the exchange back, but honestly, I don't think this is going to work out for him. He goes rook d2, probably the only move. So it's not quite mate yet. If you double on the f file, the e6 pawn is always hanging, setting up a nasty pin on the rooks. So Hans has to be a little bit careful here, but I think with precise play, should have a very good position here. So bishop f5. So he's trying to set up some counterplay. Queen g6 is coming. Getting dangerous for Hans. It's getting dangerous. Rook c2. So he's trying to. So queen g6.
Queen g6 is easy.
Yeah, but this just leads to kind of a forced draw. Exactly. He has to sack the rook back to cover the mate on h7, and now leads to perpetual. So yeah, Dubov fought extremely well there. At knight g5, he makes a draw in a prettier way, but yeah, great defense from Dubov under pressure on the clock and the position, but he found some nice resources. It was always a little bit difficult because the weakened kingside pawn structure. So I think Hans can't be too upset with the draw, though. I mean, he was putting the pressure the entire time, up a lot of time, kind of outplayed him, I think, in the beginning. So I think very solid game from Hans, and you can't really complain about that, especially as a first round for the day. It's looking a lot better.
Yeah, I think nice to settle in, and then I mean these games are so back to back. I feel like it's good to try to build up some momentum.
For sure. So yeah, we'll see. I think like it definitely feels like he's much sharper today, but we'll see how it goes. I think it's still too soon to tell. So it's 6-4 now, I think. Sorry, wait.
Yes, 6-4. Yeah.
6-4, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so e4, e5. So maybe Dubov trying to play a bit more solidly.
Okay, so we get the same line we had yesterday. Yeah, we had this Italian. Okay, so this time Dubov takes on c4. He plays it a little bit different. Yesterday he played this early h6 with knight h7. So I guess he'd probably check something since yesterday. So he switches up the line. Oh, really? He's wearing the same sweater as yesterday. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. A lot of chess players are very superstitious. So if it worked for him yesterday, I'd be shocked if he changed, to be honest. So the total match is 18 games. So we have 8 games left. All right. So Hans is sort of in his element here. He's definitely one of the world's leading experts on the Italian. This is his bread and butter. So kind of a normal, slow position. Kind of see Hans' element here. Okay, striking with d5, interesting. So yeah, I was about to ask what his idea was after b5, which looks very logical. I'm kind of struggling to see what he wants here. He probably wants to go knight d4, yeah. That makes sense. But I think in general, this type of position, white should always have a slight advantage. I mean, black's pieces are definitely a bit awkward. Yeah, I don't like this at all for black, actually. Because, okay, he has to take back on d5, I assume. And white has a lot of options there. I mean, even you can consider playing something like knight c4, just keeping pieces on the board. And, I mean, if you have to play a move like f6 to save your pawn, that's definitely not what you want. I think this d5 is a little bit too ambitious. Didn't feel right. His position didn't quite feel set up for it. I think he needed to play a little bit more passive. Again, it's sort of what I was saying before is he's extremely strong in intuition, but when he needs to sort of just relax and play more solid, he always plays the more ambitious approach, which sometimes hurts him. But again, like as I'm calling it, he goes for knight takes f3 and e4, sacrificing a pawn, which honestly, given the position he had, is quite logical. Although I don't fully believe he actually has enough for the pawn here. But it's definitely a very logical choice, especially in a blitz game, I think. Now the pressure will be on Hans to sort of prove and consolidate his extra pawn.
Yeah, and Han's still with a slight edge on the clock this game. Okay, bishop e1, so I guess just kind of opening up the d file and maybe protecting f2.
So queen g5. So yeah, he's playing ambitious here, but I don't know. He has literally 0 pawns in the center, right? So usually these kinds of attacks like this, when you have nothing going on in the center, don't work out too well. And I like this move from Hans. I like how Hans is playing this sort of bishop e1, knight c4. He's kind of keeping his calm here, and he's just slowly improving. Like he long term he is up a pawn, so he doesn't need to do anything crazy right now. So we're at d8. So he is activating his pieces. So I think for Dubov, the good thing is that he has easy moves here. Kind of, he just gets all his pieces to the center and kind of goes from there.
Yeah, I like rook d3. Feels flexible. Maybe bring the other rook in as well.
Yeah, although he does give the pawn back, which I was trying to understand. Yeah, somehow it seems like Dubov is kind of escaping once again. Yeah, h4, but it's a cheeky little move, but it doesn't actually do much. I think if black just plays simply, I mean, I guess you can go to f5, or you can even consider going back to d8 with the queen. Yeah, maybe it's for free. I don't know what it's for, but even on the Russian stream, they have no eval bar as well. So if you guys want an eval bar, you should probably not watch any streams. So yeah, he does go for queen f5. Interesting. So he allows the structure with gf3, but what he's trying to do is get some, yeah, exactly, get some pressure to the d file. I mean, okay. I would say this is probably very close to equal, but although what happens after knight d6 exactly? Knight e3, yeah, but this is not what Hans wants. I think he missed something here. Maybe it was knight d6, but again, somehow Dubov turns this around. He does this all the time. He plays a little bit dubious. He sacks a pawn, and then somehow 3 moves later, he turns it all around. Like, it's kind of incredible how he does this. Yeah, no, this screen of the players is much better. We can see the clocks. We can see them play. This is kind of what we want, right? Oh, hesitation. Okay, he eventually goes to a5. The square he didn't choose at first. f4, wow. So Dubov is feeling ambitious. I mean, I feel like most players would just go b6 without thinking too much, but he goes for f4. Hesitant by Hans. So his idea is to go rook e2, which kind of penetrate, but I guess he could also... Yeah, so knight d5 feels very logical. I mean, I don't know where else he would go. But there's something he doesn't like about it, clearly.
Yeah, so
really? So he goes to g4.
I guess he wants to protect f2.
Yeah, possibly.
But h5, yeah.
Okay. Hans is kind of getting what he wants in some way, though. Like, okay, I don't think he's going to lose now. Again, I feel like this sort of f4 was a little bit too inventive from Dubov. I feel like Hans had a lot of options there, whether knight d5 or knight g4. Okay, probably it should be close to draw still, but I think, again, like, he has this amazing creativity, which, like, he'll just sack a pawn for nothing, like it's no problem, and just turn it around in 3 moves. But then sometimes a little bit too imaginative in more simple positions. So Hans is definitely going to try to use that to his advantage. And these sort of, like, I think what Hans needs is more of these very slow, slight advantage positions where he can sort of grind. And I think that's why the opening choice matters quite a bit for him, because let's say Hans can get his sort of slow Italian slight advantage and grind forever. That's exactly what he wants against, especially against someone like Dubov. But the issue is that literally every game, right from the start, Dubov is doing everything he can to keep it as complex as possible, which is a very, very smart choice against Hans also, I think. So it's interesting to see how both players kind of use their styles to their advantage. Yeah, so we have this even rook game with even pawns. I mean, should just be a draw. I'd be surprised if we saw anything else, but yeah, things are simplifying. But okay, I think 2 draws sort of stabilized is fine for Hans. Maybe it's not exactly what he wanted, but I think after such a tough start yesterday, like, he wasn't really in trouble in either game. So I think he can be sort of happy about the way things have gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think still 7 games, a lot of time to make up ground.
So Hans is trying to round up the A pawn somehow, but I don't think it's going to be successful. Yeah, because if he ever goes for the A pawn, then Black will go for the F pawn. So there isn't really much progress to be made. No, it's not about the draws. I think the way the games have gone, Hans is clearly in better form than he was yesterday. That's sort of what I mean. I think, like, compared to yesterday, this is much, much better. Because he was clearly off yesterday. He's missing things left and right. Okay, so it gets imbalanced. I think Hans is sort of playing with fire here. I don't... Okay, probably it's still a draw, but... Okay, just make the draw, I think. He should not go crazy right now. Yeah, rook g2 is probably a smart move. Although f3...
1 second.
Oh, f2 is rook d7, so...
Oh, wow.
You realize do you guys see that? He played king d2. He hesitated as he realized as he was touching the king that he made a mistake. That's insane. Wow. Must be the nerves or something. That's actually so sad.
And then he dropping the rush.
What a painful loss.
Wow.
That is actually so sad.
Yeah, that's very
Lose
tough.
that position. I don't know if you guys saw that, right? Like he played king d2. He realized, but he already touched his king. He couldn't do anything about it. Like he touched the king almost immediately. I don't know. He got confused. Like his brain lagged or something. I mean, this happens in Blitz all the time. It's like as soon as he touched the king, he realized. Like, if this was online, you could just touch the king and realize and like make a different move. But obviously, you cannot do that in a real over the board setting. So
okay, so now down 3-6.
down 3.
Hans really has to start kind of pushing here.
But he did the same sort of thing yesterday. They had a queen end game where he was up a pawn, and he allowed pretty much the only way to lose. Like he over. And this whole thing of walking the king over, trading the f pawn for the a pawn. Yes, he was still fine. It was still a draw, but he made that so difficult for himself. And I already kind of had a bad feeling about it when he gave away the f pawn. I think that was not a must win game by any metric. Like a 2-game deficit with still 7 games to go is not an impossible comeback. I don't know. He started feeling the pressure, but. Yeah, no, for sure. Hans definitely lacks experience in these kinds of situations. Like, you can imagine, like, if Hikaru was playing this match, he'd just stay on his stream. Okay, guys, let's make the draw. Let's be solid. Let's make the draw here. Let's not go crazy. Yeah, Dubov is always chill. He never shows any emotion. All right. So we have a normal QGD. So interesting. So again, Dubov is giving away the bishop pair right away. He just does not care. But we get a very double-edged position now. White has an isolated pawn, but in return, Black's c6 pawn is always a little bit weak, and this bishop on b7 is passive for now, but that's why he goes c5. Very logical. So, yeah, I mean, again, Dubov was getting nothing with white out of the opening. Like, Black can only really be happy here. So I think now Dubov's kind of, trying to play a lot more solid, clearly. And okay, queen g6 to h. So yeah, Hans is trying to keep queens on the board. But again, like he really needs to not lose this game. Like I'm a little bit concerned he's gonna queen g6 tells me like he might still be in the kind of over pushing mode. So it's just important for Hans to sort of stabilize. Like if he can draw some games with black, win some games with white, he still has a chance. But he just needs to not lose his mind right now. Like this, he needs to make a draw this game, win this next game with white, and then he's back in business. He just needs to not lose his mind. So the score is 7-4, guys. It says right up there on the screen.
b4, so still should be pretty even, I guess. d3.
Yeah, no, it is a good learning experience for Hans for sure. Either way, like I think this is what he wants, right? Like just to be able to play the best players. So I think if he loses, he'll be gracious about it. But both players, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so what does white do here? Like
Knight d3, yeah. This is a very good question. He might lose a pawn somehow, but probably with accurate play, he shouldn't be in any real trouble. But okay, at least Hans is getting somewhere. Maybe you just play rook d1 and sack the pawn and try to get in the d file or something. Yeah, he does that. He goes rook d1. So Dubov is losing a pawn temporarily, but with this bishop against the knight, yeah, exactly. Rook d7. It's kind of hard to believe that black has any serious winning chances here. because all of white's pieces will be active. The knight won't be super good. It'll either be stranded on a2 or on b4, which anyway doesn't have a good square to go to. So, I mean, Hans will try, of course, but although he could take an a2, put the knight on c3, possibly. But it should be close to a draw. But okay, at least the pressure is on Dubov to make the draw here. Obviously, Hans can never lose this position. Yeah, rook c7 is a very smart move because notice if he played something like rook b7, then after b5, the knight on c3 is kind of stable now because it can always be supported with b4. So it's kind of kicking the knight first and then going back to b7, where the knight doesn't really have a good outpost to go to. And then the rook will go to b7. And I don't really see how he's going to keep the extra pawn long term. Like, yeah, knight a4, but the knight is just so loose there. Yeah, rook b7, stopping the pawn. Rook d8, g3. And yeah, now white also has the idea of rerouting the bishop at some point, let's say to e2 and c4, and targeting the f7 pawn as well. So it's very, very difficult for Hans to make any real progress here. But he can play for, so I mean, probably g6 he should start with, and he will put the rook on d6. So that is something. He'll probably go rook d6 here, and then after bishop c4, he can defend with rook f6. Okay, he goes rook d4, a different approach. Just stopping bishop c4 altogether. I'm curious what happens after bishop b5. Probably Hans goes knight c3. So, okay, he is keeping the extra pawn. He is keeping the pawn. So, this is good. This is what he wants. Yeah, king g2 simply. So Dubov is just kind of waiting. King f8. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting position because like both players' pieces are kind of frozen for now. Like bishop on e2, rook on b7 stop black's pieces kind of, and the rook on d4, and then a4 stop white's threats. So that's why both sides are sort of waiting. There's not really much to improve here. But okay, we'll see. I mean, he is up a pawn. He is up a pawn. He can only win.
So what do you think the idea here is, Brandon? You want to, I guess, yeah, I was going to say get the knight out probably from a4. It's tough to
get
stranded.
Yeah, so c3 is very, very logical. The more I look at it, the more I like Hans' winning chances, actually. So, hey, maybe I was wrong, you know? So the question now, because there's no good square for the bishop, is maybe he has to go to a6. Because I don't exactly know where you don't really want to, you can't really leave the f1, a6 diagonal because the black can start running the pawn. So bishop f1, okay, rook b4. And now he's kind of regrouping his pieces in a smart way. So knight will come back to safety now. Maybe e4 or d5, I'm not sure. Sorry, I can't go knight d5 because of bishop c4 still, but oh, sorry, the rook is saying, yeah, what am I smoking? See, guys, this is why I need the eval bar. So he gets the knight back to safety, and now the question is, where do you go from here, right? Like, he kind of regrouped his pieces the way he wants to, but so move knight somewhere. Okay, he repeats. I know, guys, we need the eval bar. You guys are right. I'm hanging my rook here. Like, yeah, so knight g4. So now bishop c4 can be met with knight e5. And now rook b2 is a threat, so no, he's definitely getting what he wants here. I mean, I'm sure it's still a draw the correct play, but just, getting, but yeah, so bishop e2 probably forced. Knight e5. Without an eval bar, we were all 500 elo. No, I told you guys. Both of us just learned chess yesterday, so. Yeah, so Dubov's idea here is just kind of sit and wait and stop b5 from happening. But Hans, that means, has all the time in the world to sort of just improve, so. But he's getting low on the clock. Again, he's sort of choking. The thing is, I just don't trust Hans low on time. Like, seeing the positions he's lost, both yesterday and today, we want to see, like, the super sharp Hans that we all know, seeing tactics left and right, but, like, he's been choking positions that he really should never be choking when he's low on time. So it always gets to be a little bit scared when the clock ticks down. But okay, still he's maneuvering around. It's all good. I mean, he can't lose his position. That's the thing. Like, he can try forever. That G4. So I like what he's doing. He's forcing Dubov to make a decision when he's low on time. Like, he needs to decide whether he wants to trade the bishop for the knight or not, or to keep suffering here. So, but Dubov is doing a very good job of defending, avoiding the tricks. He's too impulsive. It can work out, but mostly not. I mean, I would say both of these players are impulsive players at times. Like, definitely. But it's also what makes them some of the best Blitz players. So he's still going, torturing him. But yeah, again, the same issue for Black is that but why exactly did he go bishop b3? That's definitely a little strange to me that he allowed the pawn forward. I don't know why he switched up the defense. I mean, maybe he thought this is a easy draw as well. Which I don't know. I don't like what he's done. But now king d6. Now he can sort of try. Okay, rook c4 first. Or probably repeat. Although king d6 can be met with f4 maybe was the point. So I guess maybe that was the issue. So he provoked a weakness, but yeah, I guess it's still a draw. I mean, this seemed a little bit. Yeah, okay, he walks into f4 now, though. Yeah, no, okay, now it's just a draw. All right. Although, okay, Hans is still finding ways to keep fighting, but probably after f5 it should just be a draw. Yeah. All right. Good defense from Dubov again. Like, Hans is definitely gonna be a little bit frustrated there because it kind of felt like he had a little bit of a chance somewhere, but okay, I'm sure objectively it was probably a draw the whole time. But yeah. All right.
Okay.
Draw. Fair result. Great defense from Dubov again. No, I feel like Dubov has been extremely sharp both yesterday and today. Like, when he loses games, it's like you need to beat him like 5 games in a row. You know, he's extremely resilient in every part of the game. Like, he covers his weaknesses very, very well in blitz in a way that is almost impossible to crack, which is why he's one of the best in the world. So, yeah, no, today I feel like Hans is playing much better than he was yesterday, but it's like, what can he really do? Like today, it's more like Dubov was just playing incredible chess, and it's like he can't even be that bad because, exactly, no, he put it. There was a great effort, but like at the end of the day, it's when you're playing some of the best players in the world, you know, you're not gonna just put them away. So.
Okay, so we're seeing the same line again, kind of.
Yeah, so we get this. So I actually like the position Hans had quite a bit last game. I do like. So really, he goes for d5 again.
Okay.
I honestly think there's no way this can be good for Black. I'd be shocked. But I guess it could be some deep preparation, but I find this really hard to believe you can just give away a pawn like this.
Okay, queen e2. So if he took on e4 last game, right? Or
Correct. Yes.
the switches it up here. Interesting. And then now Dubov taking first think, I guess.
Yeah. So he goes bishop c5. d1. And yeah, it's kind of weird because the bishop on c5 is quite strong. Obviously, Black has some activity, but I don't know. I don't really believe in this. Like, probably Hans would play c4 next move, just solidifying the structure. So he takes on e3. So he tries to win the pawn back directly. But I mean, even still, it seems like white should have a slight advantage in some way, but really, he goes FE3. Okay, interesting. So he's trying to mix it up. Interesting decision. I mean, can't blame him with the match score here. At least he's playing fast. He's playing fast and confident. This is what we need right now. So if he's going to make a comeback, I think he's doing everything right. I think he needs to just sort of trust his instincts here, play aggressive, just go all out.
Yeah, already up over a minute. That's also a good sign.
For sure. So yeah, obviously Black will win the pawn back, but what Hans is hoping for is he'll get some attack. E4, and the point is he wants to bring the bishop to c3 and start some attack on the king side. Maybe rook go to f1, queen g4 at some point. And Dubov needs to be very careful with how he plays this here. Probably Black should be somewhat okay with correct play, but definitely the clock situation too. I think Hans is doing everything right here. I like this a lot, actually, this fe3. This is very smart. So then e7, yeah. So he's hoping to put the knight on g6 and sort of block the attack a bit. But yeah, bishop c3, rook f1, we see. So rook f3, very logical. He's trying to double on the f file. Maybe swing the rook over at some point. I think for Hans, he needs to be a little bit careful because long-term his central pawns could be a little bit weak. But right now, it seems like he's doing everything right. So the question is how to continue the attack here.
Yeah,
I don't think he's tilted per se. I think he's just trying to I don't know. I've played Hans enough to know how he sort of thinks. I mean, I think this sort of typical Hans with in his element, in his Italian. So I do like what I'm seeing here. But I think these next few moves will determine quite a bit. Either he'll come up with some quick attack here, or it'll kind of just fizzle out. So we'll have to see how he plays it. But e5, wow. So he's really trying to go all out. Obviously, strategically, this is not what you want, blocking your own bishop. But what exactly is his idea? So let's say Black plays something normal like queen d5, maybe stopping the queen from coming to e4. Yeah, Dubov is quite confused as well. His face seems to disapprove of this e5 move, which, to be honest, e5 would be the last move I would consider. But I guess we'll see. Because it just looks like how can you play a move like that, right? Just blocking your own bishop. Yeah, so he does go queen d5. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm struggling to understand because I don't really see where the attack is coming from now. And Black's knight on g6 is beautiful, blocking any sort of attack. I mean, you can double the f file, but even that doesn't achieve too much.
d4. Okay, yeah. Now obviously the
wow, just f6. Queen c2. f6 was a bit of a strange move, but I guess it's playable. Kind of self-pitting. Seemed pretty unnecessary to me, but I guess he thought this was okay. Maybe he just missed queen c2. I don't know. He made a little bit of an expression. Yeah, okay. f6 was a blunder, someone says in chat, yeah. f6 was a very weird move to me. There was no reason to do anything on the king side. You could simply play rook e7 if you need. Okay, well, at least he's getting somewhere. I mean, rook f6 could be a serious issue. If Black tries to... Okay, maybe not immediately because there's some pin on the e-file, but he always needs to watch out for that. So yeah, h3. Just go king h2. Very smart. Step outside of any checks before you continue the attack. Because right now, all of his pieces are perfectly centralized, so there's no reason to rush anything. And for example, Black would love to play knight e7 to reroute the knight, but that would walk into rook f6, breaking the... Because the knight on e7 blocks the rook on e8. Now, if rook f6, there's a pin on the queen on e4, so it's not going to work out for white. Yeah, unfortunately, it's blitz, so we can't really show all the variations here, but we just have to sit back and enjoy. But yeah, he wins the b7 pawn, so... Okay, and look at the clocks, guys. Look at the clock situation. 2 minutes to... I didn't even realize this. 2 minutes to 5 seconds.
Wow. Okay, so Han's kind of pawn grabbing, Dubov trying to get a bit of counterplay with knight g5. And then, okay.
This is a disaster for black.
6, but it still seems like white should have a great position.
Yeah, I think f6 was maybe some nerves or something. He kind of went into panic mode for no reason. Like, he had a perfectly fine position. There was no reason to blast it open. But okay, he is fighting queen c5, an annoying pin. The game is not over by any means, but I think if Hans is precise here, he can definitely put a lot of pressure on the clock. But again, I don't really like what he's done. Like, it just kind of feels like black is fighting back. Knight f4 now. A blunder? A blunder. This is a blunder. It's not a blunder, but could be a blunder. There's no eval bar, so we don't know. But this looks extremely dangerous. So he has to play what? Rook t1, I guess? Seems like the only move. Maybe he's escaping, but wow, knight f2, beautiful.
Ooh.
With just seconds on the clock, he finds it. Wow.
Dubov is extremely good at just finding these kind of practical chances in counterplay.
That's incredible. No, I did not see that coming at all. Although the game is still not over, but I honestly think, like, wait, is there a rook g3 somewhere?
h4.
Wow. So he goes for this one. Bishop e5. Craziness on the board. Rook g3 is coming. 1 second. King h2, rook d6. Barely holding on, getting the move up, but rook g3 now. So he won the rook, queen d4. Somehow Hans pulls it off incredibly. Rook g7. GG.
Wow.
What a finish, guys. What a finish. Okay. That was insane. But
and huge win for Hans.
Look at Hans. He just looks so like enthused. Like, I don't know if you saw that face. He's like, you know exactly what you can imagine him and his voice screaming if this was Title Tuesday game. I don't know how he pulled that off.
No, that was big. It felt like he needed a win there.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he was losing somewhere. It was total madness, but he did a very good job. He didn't panic. That's the thing. After he hung this knight f2, he just kept fighting, and it was always dangerous with the attack on the king. I think honestly, what lost the game for Dubov was this f6 earlier. Like, practically, I think this is in a blitz game. You can never play a move like f6. But wow, incredible.
Okay, so it's down to 2 again with how many? 5 games remaining?
I believe so. Yes. So there might be a breakdown on the format, but wow. So he really needed that. That was, and I'm very curious right now, guys. I'm gonna check on Lead Chess to see on my phone to see what. Okay, so yeah, so the issue, we can't use the broadcast on Lead Chess because it's delayed. So yeah, f6 was not very smart according to the engine. But I think even if it's okay, practically, you can never play a move like that. But okay, even if there are a lot of mistakes, I do like the spirit how he played. He played fast. He complicated the game. Dubov eventually made some mistakes when he was low on time, but that's the kind of chess he needs right now. He needs to sort of get his mojo back because it just feels like left and right Dubov is escaping with draws, wins. Like, imagine this the rook game before he didn't lose. Then imagine the queen game yesterday he didn't lose. Like, the match would already be in his favor, or at least not.
Right.
Would it be down to you? So he just needs to sort of keep his calm and go back to what he's good at. And I think he can still fight. He just needs to not give away these half points, full points for no reason.
Yeah, especially, I mean, 18 games, definitely a lot, but it's still short enough to where kind of 1 or 2 of those time scrambles or swindles really can kind of shift the match.
Yeah, so Daniil is streaming in Russian. So if you guys want to watch the Russian broadcast, go ahead. But yeah, you can definitely see the difference in style, right? Like that game, Hans just did it. He went all out. He played f takes e3. He played e5. He played as risky as possible, pretty much, and it did pay off in the end. So he's definitely feeling a lot more confident now. He really needed that win. So we'll see. We'll see how he plays it now. It'll be so. I think now for Dubov, he should kind of stabilize. I think, yeah, he's doing it right. I think he should just play his normal QGD positions again, and just kind of play first line advantage because it's important for him to not tilt now and lose a bunch in a row. He needs to sort of just stabilize and keep playing as if nothing happened.
Yeah, so interesting to see they're kind of repeating these same openings with both colors in a way.
Right.
6 again.
So this time he goes b4, yeah. So last time he played e4, we got absolutely nothing. So b4 a4 is more natural, but okay. This is kind of the old school way of playing. People play this type of position like in the 1970s. And black has two bishops, but white's kind of trying to play against the somewhat weakened central pawns. Exactly as I said, he's playing this sort of simple QGD, maybe slight advantage, maybe. Probably it's nothing. And just playing very simple chess. So, again, I think Hans could be happy with the outcome of the opening. I think both sides could be happy. I think Dubov kind of anticipated this kind of very slow position. Normally, black kind of plays g6, h5 here. It kind of expands on the, yeah, exactly as on q to expand on the king side because all of his pieces are sort of centralized. It's a very normal way to improve. And now it's kind of interesting because both sides kind of have their pieces on generally pretty good squares, and it's not super easy to improve for either side. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays it. I think I'm not really sure how this opening really suits someone like Dubov though, because he wants something pretty creative. Probably, I think for Hans, he should be pretty happy here because he kind of just plays slow, improving moves. Doesn't have to worry about any insane ideas. Okay, he decides to change the structure of that e4. Definitely double edged, but it is quite logical. Yeah, now the queen is a very good square in b4 exactly. So yeah, this is looking good for Hans actually because queen b4 is a very annoying move to face. There are pins all over.
Yeah,
Yeah, again. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you kind of wish you could like teleport that rook from f1 over to like c1 or somewhere in the
exactly.
But...
Exactly. All of White's pieces are sort of stepping over each other. Yeah, like kind of what I was saying before. I don't love this opening choice for Dubov because like he can't. It's sort of just a super simple, slow position. He can't really play any. There are no like quick, easy moves to play. It's kind of strategic idea, like long-term strategic ideas. Not really his element. And now bishop d5 exactly, and all of his pieces are sort of jumbled up. He has to go queen b2, and this is looking like trouble for White. His position's kind of falling apart here. Look at Hans fighting back. So yeah, he grabs the pawn. This is the total disaster for Dubov. Yeah, so knight takes e4. Again, both of these guys, like, it's interesting watching them battle it out because they're both, like, when they're in their flow, they find such genius creative ideas. And it's funny seeing them both play a super simple position because it's like, it's not good for either of them. So I don't know who's happier here, but I mean, clearly working for Hans in this game. But yeah, I think it's time for Dubov to abandon this opening for sure. Like, this has not been working for him very well. I mean, he's down a full pawn. The A pawn's already. This is basically resignable. And I know Hans, as like happy as he is now, he must be kicking himself that he gave away this like game earlier. In the record game.
Right.
Yeah, so okay, White doesn't have a passer of his own, but it's not really going anywhere. I mean, it can get to d6 or even d7, but it can be easily stopped. And Black is up a healthy pawn here, so yeah, I mean, for someone, although why is he okay? Bishop e6 is a bit of a strange move. The bishop looked beautiful on b3, but okay, probably everything should be winning for Black.
Yeah, and again, a small time edge for Hans.
I think for Dubov, his only hope. Okay, I'm surprised he didn't go for d7 there. I thought he would try d7 and then go rook d6 and try to trade his d pawn for black's b pawn, and then maybe he had some hope of surviving that. At least he'll have passed b pawn there, but he doesn't take that opportunity. He instead just doubles. But I don't believe in this for white. I think, although, again, I can sort of see how Dubov's thinking. He wants to go d7 at some point, rook d6. But it feels like it's going to be too slow. I think, yeah, the a pawn is already running. a4, very nice. A cute little tactic. You can't take the pawn because of bishop b3, forking the rooks. And the pawn is just running. So, yeah, you see Dubov made some expression there. I'm not sure what that means exactly. But, yeah, I really didn't like Hans' bishop e6 move. I think, okay, he's still probably winning, but exactly, he's going to go back to b. I think the bishop was beautifully placed on b3 already. So, no reason for any of this. But, okay. Rook d6 is going to come, though, yeah. So he needs to be a little careful here.
Okay, so this is kind of the swap you were talking about, I guess, that maybe white could have
Yeah.
earlier.
And, okay, white doesn't have a pass b pawn here, so Hans needs to be careful. With precise play, it should still be winning, but again, this is sort of typical Dubov. Yeah, he just look from something that looks sort of resignable. He somehow now has a pass b pawn that Hans needs to worry about. So, okay, so Hans is up a bit on the clock. Still should be winning. So I think what Hans wants to do now is just run the king over. Like he just wants to go king d6, king c5, just get the king to the queen side. So he starts with rook b7. Okay. Rook a8. Okay, so he tried to force rooks off the board. Rook d8. Obviously, white doesn't want to trade here because he wants to somehow create counterplay. Like he needs two rooks, a bishop, a pawn. He needs to sort of mix it up here. Like the more trades that happen, the better it is for Hans. That his a pawn will sort of run down the board. So h5, this is exactly what he wants. King f7. I don't know. Don't have a good feeling about this for Hans. Still good, but I think Dubov is getting the counterplay he wants here. It's still winning. It's still winning. Probably. Maybe. We have no eval bar, so we don't know. But he's up a clean pawn still.
Okay, now.
Ah, rook d4, very tricky. So the idea is after bishop takes b3, he wants to take on b5, setting up a pin. And white can't really avoid it because if you play something like bishop c2 to step out of it, then after a trade, there'll be a fork winning the bishop back in the end. So he goes for it. But what exactly is his idea? Ah, rook g6. Clever. So he, after all the trades, he'll win a pawn back in the end. And we reach this rook endgame. Where, what is happening here? So I'm curious if Hans can go f for another pass pawn. He goes king e6, which is the most straightforward. But now after g3, you can't really create a second passer. So I was wondering if f4 there was possible. But he goes for this, rook d3. But how exactly does he make progress here? He goes rook f3, okay. So now he's ready to walk the king over.
Yeah, so what does Dubov do? I guess is he just wait, or is he, I guess, brings the king back to f1, but that walks into e3.
Wait. So
now is
yeah, he just lost, right? Because
yeah,
takes a3, we bet with e2, so he
winning.
He just lost. Good stuff. Yeah, this rook what was it? This rook d4 move before was very, very strong for Hans. So wow.
Yeah.
Another great endgame from Hans. There we go.
So it's down to 1, guys.
Wow. What is that? Is that 3 in a row? He went 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
2 in a row. So
exactly. And also, and this is sort of typical Hans. I think he should feel really, really good about this game because, like, this sort of slow positional games, endgame grind. Like this is exactly what Hans wants. He was never in any danger whatsoever. Hate watchers nervous, exactly.
And now
I think
I was gonna say one game
Yeah,
deficit. I feel like Hans doesn't have to do anything too special. You can just play very normal chess.
definitely. I think he should continue doing what he's doing. I think he's been doing a great job. And yeah, I think we all just want to see great chess being played. I think people, you can root for who you want to root for, but at the end of the day, like these are two of among the best blitz players in the world, and I think we can all just kind of appreciate that for a second. That we're getting to watch literally among the best blitz players in the world playing an 18-game match. So
Yeah, so curious to see if Dubov will go back into this kind of D5 stuff that we've seen earlier. But
yeah,
okay, so this is kind of similar to yesterday, I guess.
right. So we're going back to these kinds of positions, knight g5. So this will be a sort of a long-term maneuvering game. So yeah, Paz plays this instantly, so he must have checked the line. But the good thing is that we're gonna get exciting chess here. No more quick trades. Literally every pawn on the board. Only one piece has been traded, so we're gonna get some real chess being played. So it takes h4. So yeah, Hans is hoping for maybe a slight edge. Knight e3. Rerouting the knight. So the queen on h6 isn't super great unless he's going to go for some g5 at some point. So Hans always has to watch out for a sort of g5 break, but probably it's not entirely correct yet. So he goes queen g7 simply. Now he's expanding on the queen side. It's a very double-edged position. Hans will try to create the weaknesses on the queen side with an eventual b5 possibly. But Black's queen is already at g7, which is very odd, but it does help with an f5 at some point. So he needs to watch out. So it's very interesting. I mean, normally you'd expect this position with the queen on d8, but instead the queen is on g7. So audio is bad. Okay.
Yeah, I was just looking into that. Let's see if we can fix it.
So he does break with d4.
Okay, yeah, guys, we're seeing if we can kind of get the audio sorted out, but hopefully we'll have that fixed.
Okay, so half the people are saying there's a big problem. Half the people are saying it's fine. So
yeah, I think from what we're hearing, maybe it's fine on X. Maybe it depends on the platform, but we'll keep an eye on it. See if it holds up.
All right. Okay, I assume it's fine now. Most people are saying it's fine, but okay. So what happened? So Hans, it's very double-edged. So very funny. We see the queen of g7's purpose now. Now Black's going to play knight d5, and the queen makes perfect sense. So wow, knight d3, very very clever move. And the point is that now the knight on d3 protects the pawn on b4. So let's say Black were to play knight d5, then you can take on g7 and take on e4. And otherwise, that's going to reroute to c5. So obviously, Dubov missed this. You can see on his face. And yeah, it looks like he might be suffering here. I mean, it's not easy to suggest what he should do. I mean, he can play knight c6 maybe. Maybe that's what he has to do. But
and yeah, guys, if audio's out, try refreshing the site. I think we're hearing that might help. Hopefully, it won't be an issue.
So obviously black will win the pawn back. But what Hans is hoping for is he's going to get his knight to c5 and try to target the queenside weaknesses. So, okay, objectively it's probably not much, but he's up a minute on the clock. And the pressure is on. I mean, we'll see what Dubov does here. He needs to be a little bit careful here. So he'd probably take, but he goes rook d4. Take knight c5 will probably happen. And then black will probably defend the queen side on rook f7. So yeah, so he goes king g2, just trying to improve. Rook e7. So it's only a 1 point deficit right now. It's 7.5, 6.5. It should be close to a draw, but Hans is definitely going to try here. He's going to try. I mean, I don't know. I think both players are mostly playing decent. They're just a few moments that they're not, I don't know, not managing their time well, I think, because like I feel like every game somebody's up like 2 minutes on the clock, one of them. So obviously in a long match like this, the psychology is a pretty big component. So definitely like the course of the games is going to go different than if they were just playing one game at chess.com or something. But so he just goes f5, blocking the king out. So I think Dubov is playing this quite well. It's hard to imagine something other than a draw will happen, but you never know. Like black does kind of have these permanent weaknesses on b7 and a6, so Hans is definitely going to try to move around forever. But yeah, rook b8. Dubov needs to be careful. Like he probably has to go back to d7, but then knight b6 is coming. I like what Hans is doing here. The pressure is on, and he's up and look at the clock. He's up a minute still. He goes for active counterplay at rook a1. Okay, also makes sense. f4. Typical Dubov, just going for counterplay on the king side. Trying to mix it up as much as possible. Rook a3, pinning the knight. King d2. And probably black will go for some g5 or something. Although there's knight e4 still, so he does go for g5, but knight e4.
Just wants to walk the king in, I guess.
Yeah, he's going to try for rook a2, knight g2. He's going to go for some kind of weird counterplay. But again, Hans is up a full minute. Like this is exactly what he needs. It's +2. Yeah, I don't know. This looks very close to winning, but there's always some kind of weird counterplay, so he needs to be careful. Probably maybe there's a check and there's some b5 at the right moment. I'm sure there's some accurate way for Hans, but he's up a full minute, so now he needs to just step out of the counterplay. I'm curious what the win is. Yeah, so b5 and a6, okay? So he puts the pawn on a7, yeah. But now the king's going to walk. So now the question is if he can actually promote the pawn. He needs to somehow use his knight, but I don't quite see it. He'll probably go knight e4, knight d6 at the right moment. But a typical Dubov, like he's hanging by a thread, but he finds his counterplay. Knight d3, very smart move. He finds his kind of counterplay. Now rook a3. Yeah. Takes the pawn. But it seems like black's knight's coming back here. Knight c5. Probably knight e6. Okay, he just goes for b4. It's very close. Can he go b3? Wait, but knight e4. Rook c4. Blunder.
Wow.
Although it's not over yet. It's rook a3.
Oh, it's just resigns.
Wow. He pulls it
Wow.
off. 3 in a row.
Right on cue. Okay, so tied match, guys.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely was a drop, but I really like how he played. He kept the pressure going. This is what he needs. And notice every game he's won, he's been up over a minute on the clock at some point. Like he's managing his time so much better today. This is the Hans we know.
Yeah,
Look at him.
very,
He feels
very
the energy.
He feels it. Dubov, I guess Dubov always looks pretty calm, but certainly he's got to
Yeah, I mean, that's just he's
battle.
never going to show any emotion, regardless of what he's feeling. But
I wonder if he'll switch anything up, but
I think Dubov just needs to play faster. Like I think if he had that end game with like a minute left on his clock, he would not lose that. Because I know Chow was saying objectively he was winning somewhere, but it looked extremely difficult. Like Black has 100 pause running down to. I think with more time here, he probably would have found a trick. But yeah, Hans pulls it off. No, I really like what he did. Like he wasn't afraid to just like run the A pawn. You know what I mean? A lot of people would sort of just move around and not go for it. But he was never really risking much, right? Because like you have a pawn to A7, you can never really lose. So he kind of did everything he could with the position he had. So very smart. I think he played that very, very smart, especially given the time situation. He evened the score. But now imagine Hans didn't lose that game before. Like he would totally be in the driver's seat. But okay. So he does switch it up. He goes for Catalan. Yeah. I don't think he's ever going back to that QGG line, probably ever in his life now after this. But okay, so he gets to isolate a pawn. Hans goes ED. Interesting decision. And yeah, honestly, White should probably have a slight advantage here, but it's not much. It's not much. It's kind of normal. So probably 93. Yeah, very logical. Yeah, you can see it in Hans' face. He was probably thinking about it when he went to sleep last night. Like, I really don't want to answer a question. Today's going to be my day. But I will say I like Dubov's position now. He's up time. Very simple position to play. Knight f4, knight d4. He kind of maneuver around. He's a very strong bishop on b2. It's kind of like a long-lasting slight edge for white. So I do like the position he got out of the opening here.
Yeah, also Dubov playing very quickly, I guess. So we saw him struggle low on time the last few games.
Yeah, he's definitely he understands that the clock has been his biggest enemy these last few games. And b4, very nice move. Taking advantage of the weak bishop on a6. Although the drawback is that he does weaken the c4 square. But he's trying to sort of dislodge Hans' pieces here. And obviously, you never want to give away the bishop. So I see bishop d6. And now the question is whether he can grab the pawn on d5. There's a knight d3 he has to watch out for. So he takes with the bishop. Very interesting. So he's willing to part ways with his bishop because black has this extremely weak long diagonal for the bishop on b2. So yeah, he goes rook ed8, but he is down a pawn for now. He does have some activity, but also his king can be weak. So this is going to kind of explode into some tactics here. I think these next few moves will tell, but I think Dubov is kind of getting his groove back here. b5, very logical, blocking the bishop. Dubov's going to pull out some candidates prep to go to his last game. Exactly. We're all waiting for it to happen. But now there's a knight c6 maybe. Exactly, yeah. And it's played. And really taking advantage of the long diagonal. No, I really like White's position here. I think this got extremely wrong for black. But you see, guys, like, they're both so strong. It really comes down to the opening choices here because they're kind of trying to get their type sorts of positions, right? Hans has got his sort of slight pull in the endgame last game, exactly what he wants. Now Dubov got his sort of slight pull where he can play nice, fast moves. Like, when you're dealing with such monsters, just simply, like, letting their flow happening will change the entire course of the game because, you know, like, when you give them a good position, they're not going to let you escape, basically, ever. So rook d7. So Hans is trying to survive here, but The thing is, he doesn't even have a way to untangle. Like white can sort of play any improving move, even like something like queen e2. Although maybe black try to take on 2-6. I don't know, but the thing is, they're like Dubov doesn't need to do anything immediate here. He's sort of up a pawn. The long diagonal is still quite weak. 95, okay. So, yeah, that point is that for him is that if pawns were to take twice in 2-6, there's going to be a queen d4 at the end, taking advantage of the long diagonal weaken. So he goes bishop b8. He's trying to fight. So the question is where you put the queen. It's not an easy question to be answered, actually. He goes queen e4, but now f5.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? They got into some little argument. Like, I don't know what happened, but there were some words exchanged.
Maybe a touch move thing, or interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I guess he was picking up a piece that fell, and then he like said or didn't say adjust. I don't know what that was, but okay. Seems like there's no problem. But wait, why exactly did he take on c6? Isn't there going to be a rook c1?
Wow. Maybe it was a touch move.
Wait, what happened there? Did he touch his knight and then? Huh?
It looks like some piece fell over, but I don't know. Maybe.
But Hans didn't even seem upset. Like maybe he did actually touch his knight or something, and he put it back.
Yeah, could be. Okay.
Maybe he touched his knight, he put it back, he knocked something over, and then maybe Dubov was like, "You touched it." He's like, "Yeah, I know, I'll move the knight." I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
maybe,
it seemed like some kind of exchange like that. Okay, so
that was strange, very strange. I don't know what happened there. That was really weird. But it seemed like he was fighting if he played f5 still. Okay, it wasn't pleasant, but okay, I have no idea what happened there. That was really weird. Yeah, maybe he just picked up his knight, like think he could take on c6, and then it knocked over. Now they're buddies. Yeah.
Dubov going back to Sicilian, very interesting after getting the lead again.
Yeah, that was really weird. But okay, to be fair, Hans was kind of suffering the whole game. This g6. So yeah, this is something Dubov has prepared quite a bit. He's played this for years as a surprise weapon, especially in blitz. So Hans doesn't go for bishop takes f6. He doesn't go for the critical lines. He's sort of just trying to play chess here. Yeah, honestly, like I said, like just watching these guys play is a gift, right? Just being able to watch some of the best players in the world play some blitz is always nice, regardless of all the other drama, which is nice too. Anish says in chat he thinks Hans should prepare for the lie detector now. Yeah, I think both of them are preparing the whole night, probably. I mean, we'll see. So there are, what, 2 games left?
So, yeah, 2 games left. Yeah, very tense. So is this, I guess this is Hans's last try with white?
Yeah, this is not... I actually forgot there were only 2 games left. Okay, there's the isolated pawn. Not very much happening, though. But I'm still... I'm sorry, I'm still just kind of flustered from the last game. I have no... Like, I'm sure somebody will explain at some point, but, like, does anybody who speaks Russian... Like, was anybody watching the broadcast in Russian who knows what happened? Because I'm very curious.
Yeah, maybe if Hans joins after, he can explain. But
yeah, but this is not looking good. I mean, 2 games left. He got absolutely nothing in this game. It's 3 left. Or is this 2 left? I think it's 2 left, right?
Yeah, this is the 17th game, I think.
Okay, so it's 2 left. Wow.
Okay, so is there any way white can try to make something of nothing here?
I mean, the game is not over, but I wouldn't even say white is better here, right? Like black has 1 isolated pawn technically, but it's not really much happening. Probably all the pieces will be traded soon. I think it's going to come down to a must-win, guys. Last game. Yeah, I think Fischer would take on h2 here. But I think Hans is. I think Hans needs to channel the spirit of his idol and hypnotize Dubov's take on H2 here. But obviously, he's not gonna do that. That H6. Honestly, knowing Dubov, I think he's gonna play with Black here. I think he's gonna try to play for a win here. To be totally honest, I don't think Black is worse in any way. Okay, maybe not play for a win, but he's definitely feeling confident right now. Yeah, but it's definitely coming down to the time management because, like, every game has been decided by time. I feel like for both of them.
Yeah, I guess Hans is up a bit on the clock, so that's one thing he's got going for him this game.
Yeah, but it's hard to imagine he'll create something here. I think Dubov was hoping Hans will kind of overpush this, which he might. I mean, we'll see. But okay, he's going to try to reroute. He's going to try to set up something, that F3, King D3. He's definitely going to try. Probably nothing's going to happen, but he'll fight. Sorry, I'm just checking on my phone. I'm trying to see if there's anybody said what happened last game, but I guess we'll find out sooner or later. Yeah, so Dubov is up 1. There are 2 games to go.
Okay, so you're trying to just go King D3 and round up the pawn?
Yep, so he is getting somewhere. See, yeah, maybe I jinxed it. As soon as I called it, seems like he's making some progress. Yeah, so he has to sack the pawn back. Sorry, I'm trying to read chat. It's just too fast for me, but he hangs G5 too. What happened? What? How did he hang all of his pieces in like 3 moves? This looks like I'm watching one of my own games. What happened?
Okay, so any confusion?
Wait, some commotion? Wait, what just happened, guys?
By the way, if anyone knows the tiebreak rules, it looks like it could be relevant. So,
but he literally let White get everything he wanted. He let Hans regroup the pieces. Then he had to sack a pawn. Then he hung another pawn, and then he trapped his own knight. Okay, to be fair, he was lost there anyway already. But what exactly is happening?
Yeah, both of those last.
I think this is staged. This is actually staged.
Wow. Okay, so this is we're gonna get winner.
Wait, this is actually staged. I'm confused. I'm just as confused as you guys. But okay, no. Okay, Hans did do a good job. He was trying, and he sort of. I think he got a little bit too relaxed there. I think he thought it was a dead draw, and then. Okay, nobody knows what's happening. This is actually scripted. Although, to be fair, that does make up for the game Hans lost in their Ricka game with even pawns. So, I will say that is fair. But honestly, as a chess fan, I think we can all just enjoy this right now. 1 game left, tied match. I don't know what happens in the case of a tie. I guess we'll find out. But I think as chess fans, we can all just take a moment to appreciate what's happening right now. This is actually staged. All right, don't get your popcorn. Don't take too long. The last game's going to be off. Okay, in terms of openings, what do you think this? So I think Dubov will go for the Catalan again. I think he'll try to get a slight advantage, play with 0 risk. I think that should be his strategy. But
yeah,
in the event of a draw, they both take the no, exactly. Wait, we should petition for them both to take the test if they make a draw.
The match is tied.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, surely there's a tie break, but we don't really know what the rules are for that yet. But okay, let's see. I feel like Hans will stick to his guns, but we'll see if he switches up the opening.
Honestly, this whole time they just look like friends, like having a fun match. Like they're just messing around. I feel like this was definitely staged. Like they decided before the day, like, hey, let's play Armageddon or something. Yeah. So he does go for very, very solid Catalan, as expected. I mean, there's no reason to risk in this game. I know this is sort of like what happened with Hans and Kramnik. Yeah, like there was some accusations and they met up together, and then they became best friends. Like, I think the same thing is happening now. They probably just became best friends for the match.
Yeah, you play head to head, and then you realize how good the other person is, and then you kind of get some.
Right. So yeah, this is a known line. Known by everybody besides me. I just know that it's known. I don't actually know it, of course. But okay, seems like not much is happening. I assume C5 will come. Seems pretty normal to me. I mean, yeah, they are playing for prize money, of course, as well. But I think more so than the money, I don't think. I think we all know what we're here for.
And the thing is, I feel like whoever loses also will just be just more upset from losing the match itself. If I know at least Hans's attitude, I think that'll bother him more than probably the test itself. But
Yeah, no, that is a good point. I mean, every good chess player hates losing, so it'll just feel like they're on a spectacle for embarrassment. You know, even if like the test goes smoothly, whatever, like, they pass it, there's no problems, no drama. I think it'll just feel like they're like, what was there an issue?
yeah, I saw some motion,
Some commotion.
maybe some noise or something. But okay.
Okay, guys, I was joking about the stage comment. Let me just clear that out of the way. Yeah. But okay, wait. Do you guys know what happens in the event of a tie? Is it Armageddon?
Also very even on the clock this game.
Yeah. So very boring. I mean, not much happening. They never specified, yeah?
Yeah, I feel like probably neither side wants to commit to anything too I don't know, double edge in such like a high pressure game.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I try to look at their body language. I think Hans wants to be ambitious here. He's gonna try. Rook C1, knight C5 is gonna come. Okay, so probably some trades are gonna happen at some point on the C file. I'm just so curious what's gonna happen. I think a draw is most likely. I don't think either of them will really risk much here. No. I think they're not gonna really take any risk here.
Okay, F4. Interesting. So where's that knight going? Back to D7.
Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere else to
Yeah.
go. But okay, well, he doesn't get the C file, but he did have to play F4, which is a bit of a concession. Right, exactly. Pardoning mercy to these low players. You think they're going to take risks? I don't know. Well, I mean, we still don't know what happens in a tie if they never said. So maybe they just decide at the time, like, you want to take it? You take the test. No, you take it. Okay, rook c4. He's going for knight c6. It's getting a bit scary for Hans. Needs to be accurate. Rook e8.
Okay, is b4? Okay, yeah. Dubov just takes on b4.
Yeah, so he loses the pawn. He's going to go for some counterplay, but I don't know. It's getting scary. H5. Okay, so he's going to go for some counterplay. But I don't know if I believe in this. The knight on c6 is extremely strong. But okay, the good thing for Hans is he is up on time. Rook b7, okay. So he's going to try to create counterplay. I mean, all three results are possible here, for sure. Okay, he goes queen f4, yeah. Smart.
Okay. Yeah, EF, maybe there's some h4 ideas.
Yeah, this is... Hans is on the ropes here. He needs to be accurate. Probably he'll go something like queen e6. Okay, he goes to c5. Yeah, no, for sure. Somebody says one of these guys are both generational talents. Just they're both 2700 plus. Anybody can beat each other, just who's in form, for sure. I mean, obviously, this match shows that we already knew that these are two of some of the best plus players in the world, and whatever happens, like we can appreciate the chess being played. But looks like Hans is not about to appreciate the chess being played after Queen d4. I think.
Yeah. What?
He takes on e3.
Okay, so if rook d7. Guess he. Okay, no. Dubov trades queens. Okay, but now it feels like this is improved for Hans now. Got the pawn back.
I think we're gonna have an Armageddon, guys.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we need to figure out what the tiebreak is.
Although the game is not over. The game is not over. Knight e4.
It's a bit scary for white.
Knight c2.
Okay.
Just in time.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a tied match. Incredible.
Knight b1?
Is
No.
he really gonna? Really? Knight b1. Hans, don't
Don't
do anything stupid.
Wow, this is okay.
Okay, it should still be a draw, maybe. King e7.
Okay, it looks like he's in time, right?
Still be a draw. Okay, let's not jinx him. Let's not jinx him.
Okay. Wait, what's going on here? Okay.
They look so nervous. Look at them. Like they're just so tense. d5. One wrong move and the match could be over. I mean, Dubov is gonna try here.
Okay, so
Probably needs to play f6 to shut the king out. He goes f6. Yeah, king c6. The king's gonna walk in now, though. King d5. Okay. g4. He's going for it.
oh,
Wow. Zero fear.
wow, this is so tense.
What is happening? King e6. The king's coming in.
Are there G3 ideas?
Knight f3 is trying to queen his own pawn. Knight e2. How do you stop the pawn?
Wow.
Insane.
What an ending.
What am I witnessing right now? Look at him. He's just in disbelief.
Wow, that was extreme drama.
That was crazy. I thought it was fizzling out and he just goes g4. Zero fear. What a game. I cannot believe this right now. I'm speechless.
Yeah,
I'm
this
speechless.
knight b1 maybe was a
18 games of chess to end like this.
wow, what a match.
I cannot believe what I'm watching right now. Yes, I know. I think they're in disbelief. I mean, I think everybody is speechless here. Dubov is probably speechless too. I mean, I know he'll act super cool about it, but I mean, this was insane.
Yeah, very dramatic.
I don't know what to say. Incredible.
Yeah, G4.
Yeah, on flag, but he was lost anyway. He couldn't stop the pawn. He was already losing at that point. I mean, I wonder if there was a defense after. Probably there was a way to hold after g4, but
yeah, but
like also if I mean to have the awareness to find g4 with 2 seconds on the clock is incredible. Yeah, I wonder if it's possible to pull up an analysis board. I would love to. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
So what do you think, chat? Do we call up pawns right now, or do we give? Let's give him a minute to collect himself.
Okay, yeah, the Lee Chess broadcast for the games are still a bit delayed. So.
We definitely want to talk to him when we can.
Wow. Okay.
What do you guys think? Do we call him or do we let him rest?
Yeah, let's see if we can get Hans on.
Message him first, call him. Call him and ask why I didn't go A4. I think it's too soon.
Okay.
They're speaking in Russian, guys. I mean, if you want to hear it, you can.
Okay, Brandon, I'm going to step out for 1 second. We'll see if we can get Hans, and I'll be back in a minute.
All right, cool. Go for it. That was insane. That was unbelievable. I mean, like, I think all of our hearts were stopping for a moment there, but yeah, I mean, it looked like he was just fizzling out. Yeah, I would love to break it down. The issue is I'm not in charge of the stream setup, so I don't know how to pull up analysis board. Like I don't have access to this is Hans's stream. I'm just on the camera, so I don't have access to like the stream layout. So I would love to break it down, but yeah, no, that was I think we all have to kind of applaud Dubov here for the fight. I mean, Hans definitely let it get out of hand, like with this knight b1, knight c1. He was definitely over pushing. It was still a draw, but for Dubov's awareness to realize in that moment, that's his one chance. Yeah, I think they're both just kind of wondering what happened and recollecting themselves. So yeah, okay. Obviously, there's a lot of money on the line too, but I think it's not really about the money, right? It's about for them, it's about the prestige of the match. But yeah, exactly. Easy win, no sweat, total class difference, not even close. Yeah, G4 was drawn. Okay. Yeah, I felt like it was probably still a draw with correct play, but to try that on 2 seconds is just incredible. Do we
Okay.
have Hans on the line?
Still waiting to see if we can get in touch. But
All right.
do you want to take a look at the ending of that last game? I can try
I would love to.
to pull it up. Okay. Okay, I think we got the moves here. So, okay, yeah. So feel free to just chime in, Brandon. But I guess after, here it seemed like Dubov was just kind of a clean pawn, and
Yeah, so Hans definitely got a little bit nervous, but I had the feeling that he was going to kind of survive this position. So he's down a pawn here, but the thing is, White's king is not entirely happy, right? So with correct play, apparently it was winning for White. But I mean, Queen C4 is so logical, and already after Queen D6, Black is getting a ton of counterplay, and you could even at some point maybe even win a second pawn in A4. But the thing is, it's all about Black's piece placement, right? And I think Hans did a very, very good job of creating counterplay here. And that's the thing with these guys, right? They're so hard to put away. Like you can kind of get outplayed a little bit. You can kind of make some inaccuracies, but then to actually convert these positions to win is a whole different ball game. And I think after take, Hans did a very good job of. So apparently Queen C5 was a blunder. Knight B8. Wow. But I don't know who's finding that with seconds on the clock.
Okay, Queen E4 is normal, and then so here it seemed like it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, so here was pretty much we all thought it was going to be a draw, and I think Hans's problem started with a few little panic moments when he was low on time. So knight d3, this was normal. B3, A3, and there was this moment here after knight e4, knight c2, knight d2, bishop c4, where he kind of hesitated. He played knight b1. He put the knight back on d2, and he sort of hesitated with his hand a little bit. And I think he realized probably knight takes c4, taking on a2, sort of simplifies the position. It should just be a draw. But he decided to go for knight b1 anyway, which apparently does actually lose. Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
But okay, I'm sure after this it was a draw again. So wait. Yeah, no. Okay, here I was wondering exactly. So Dubov went for the safe approach with knight takes a3, but he could actually keep the bishop with bishop d5. And the thing is, Black's knight on c1 is completely useless now because he's never going to win the pawn on a2, and now the b pawn just sort of runs. And actually, both Black's knights can't really get out. So this was actually a huge chance for him, but he missed his chance. He took an a3. So we reached this kind of net endgame where White is an outside passer, but I mean, as we saw, this was the sort of plan to kind of distract Black's king while you run the king to the king setting, try to collect the other pawns. But I mean, this should still, of course, be a draw. It's net endgame, even pawns. But go for it, and we'll see what happened.
Yeah, so this is all normal, and then so still a total draw. Interesting.
So in this position after g5, I think we all assumed king e6 was going to happen, and then after take exactly knight c6, everything will trade off. Okay, White will have an extra h pawn in the end, but then Black's king will run to the corner. This is a simple draw.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the test is coming.
Right.
But
but G4
goes for G4.
Really good practical try. And,
so
you just lose.
HG actually loses immediately.
So GH. So what is a draw? I guess. GH.
takes. Yeah, so you have to. Yeah, I assume starting with h3 is smart. So force the knight to f3 to stop black's pawn. And honestly, what I think the idea is one of the potential ideas behind taking the h pawn instead of the g pawn is that you're actually clearing up your own pawns so that your knight has space to stop the h pawn. So now let's imagine black plays knight c6 as the computer says. I mean, okay, I don't know, h6, knight h2 probably transposes. Knight e5, h7, knight f7. Actually, okay, yeah. So black creates kind of playing time with h2. But another idea I was thinking about is that we can see in the game after hg4,
right,
h5, knight d7, is that in some situations, black's own pawns stop his knight from being able to get out. So we saw this in the game. The problem, so after king e6, is if you go knight f8 or knight e5, whatever, and then you hide them in h7, it's kind of an incredible study-like position where black's own pawns prevent the knight f squares. So let's say knight f8 check instead of knight e5, for example. King f7, knight h7. After king g7, black's knight is actually just trapped here. And his pawns are not going anywhere. The knight simply stops them all.
Okay.
But apparently this is a draw. So what is the win? I go knight f5 first. Okay.
F5
Stop
first.
the pawns and then king g7.
Yeah.
But black's pawns kind of shelter his own knight. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, very instructive ending.
So at the end of all of this, he wins 9.5, 8.5, coming down to literally the last second. And yeah, that's that. But I think we have to kind of applaud both the players for such a hard fought match. And obviously Hans won't be happy with the way it worked out, but given that he came into today with a 2-point deficit, I think he really did amazing, with what he had. I mean, he had a streak. He won 3 games in a row. He really did the best he could. So I think he can't really be too mad at himself.
Yeah. I mean, definitely there was a point down 3 with 6-7 games left where certainly I think he showed a lot of resilience to win 3 in a row and fight back.
Definitely. And I think it goes to show both of their fighting spirits, right? I mean, for Hans, it would be easy to tilt when he was down 3. For Dubov, it would be easy to tilt when he's lost 3 in a row. And both of them were able to show their strength in certain moments of the match and really come back when it was needed to. So I think we have to applaud both the players. And I think Hans will be upset, but I think he shouldn't be too mad at himself either. Okay, the Russian streamer said that there was no info about tests yet. There will probably be tomorrow after a few days or something. All right. Well, in that case, has Hans replied to your messages?
Yeah, let me see if we're going to get him on or not. No response yet. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, seems like. Yeah, we might not be able to get in touch with him now. I don't know. So.
All right. I think we should let Hans rest. Probably. I think he's.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're both, I'm sure, exhausted, and after that match.
After a match like this, I think. I don't know if I'd want to speak to anybody for the next 3 days either. So. Can't blame him there.
And both, by the way, both just finished classical tournaments as well, so I'm sure they're both.
That is true.
Exhausted.
Yeah, as far as we know, the test is going to be tomorrow or something. I don't know if it'll be live streamed. I guess we'll see. But what a crazy match.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more info on that, and you guys will all know where to watch it and where to see it. But yeah, so yeah, I guess I'm sure we'll all know and follow when that is. But okay, we'll probably call the stream. But yeah, I think great match, very very entertaining second day for sure. I think that was probably about as good of a match as we could have asked for.
No, for sure. I think as a chess fan, you can't really ask for anything better than this. So Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Daniil, of course, for winning the match, and the drama that ensues will to be continued. I guess we'll see what happens when it happens, if it's actually going to happen, and it wasn't just a meme. So I guess all of that is to be determined. But yeah, no, it was a pleasure. I know chat was going wild for a while, but no, I haven't commentated in a very, very long time, so it was cool to get back in the ring.
Yeah, stay tuned for Brandon's full streaming comeback. So,
what about you? Are you gonna turn this into your career?
I think playing is usually overwhelming enough for me, but we'll see. Yeah, always fun to watch. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more. I mean, it's always great to just see the best players go head to head. So hopefully we'll get to see some more of these matches or tournament style, whatever it is. Hopefully we'll get to see more clashes.
Yeah, no, for sure, and definitely looking forward to Hans' more match. I know he's mentioned he's having more of his Hans against the world matches in 2025, so that'll be exciting too. But yeah, I think for now we've seen enough crazy chess. I think it's kind of a poetic ending in a way to such a long, exciting match, just coming out to the last few seconds. And I think we can all kind of just chill and appreciate it now. So thank you guys for sticking by. We're gonna get more updates soon on what happens with the whole lie detector. And yeah, it was a pleasure commentating with you. It was a pleasure commentating in general, and hopefully we'll be back soon. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see y'all later.